At the time of recording this, it is January 3, 2025. So, Happy New Year's to everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. The split is set to end on January 9, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to reach Challenger this split. This video is gonna be an honest reflection on my journey during the split, and I'll look at what I'll be doing to achieve Challenger next season. My goal for this video is to have it serve as inspiration and an outline for anyone wanting to reach something similar and to do the same thing of reflecting and planning. So let's get into it. This split has been a massive improvement compared to the last one. I came just a few minutes away from Challenger, and the amount of new knowledge I've gained makes my previous understanding seem basic by comparison. The split started very slow for me, which I believe contributed significantly to not reaching Challenger, and I'll talk more on this later. Initially, I struggled to even hit Masters, spending weeks climbing to mid-Masters, then eventually reaching grandmaster, and by the time I hit JM, I only had about a month left to reach Challenger. Now, while a month might sound like plenty of time, to me, mentally, it felt very little and very suffocating. And the pressure to perform every game and just having a game that day gave me a lot of anxiety on my daily progress, and I was so focused on, oh, did I get a gain today? Did I win more than I lost today? Or I lost more than I won today? And it was more about the gains than just actually improving, and that's just a very bad mentality to have. Now, while the short split wasn't the sole reason I didn't hit Challenger, it was a very big factor as to why. Overall though, I'm proud of my progress to split and excited for the next season with all the crazy new updates coming, and there not being any more splits, which is good for me. So yeah, I'll be talking more now on what I did well, what I can improve on, and my plans for next split. One major focus to split for me was the mental side of the game. I dedicated about 90% of my efforts to improving my mindset. And when I say mental side of the game, I don't mean avoiding toxicity or any negative behavior. I've never really struggled with those, and instead I was really focused on building confidence. I recently read The Confident Mind by Dr. Nate Zinzer. It's a really good book. I recommend everyone read it at some point. And here are some key lessons that I focus on applying this split. Number one is how to deal with pressure. Historically, I have crumbled under pressure, both in real life and in game. A very good example of this is when I play with streamers, pro players, or anyone of that stature. Every time that would happen, I would be so overly concerned about their opinions or their viewers' reactions or whatever, and this mindset just like clouded my judgment every game, and whenever I would eventually do poorer on those games, it would take a toll on me, and I would just straight up just lose like 20 in a row. And this first lesson helped me fix that, or at least get better at handling it. And the book's first chapter introduces the idea of framing arousal, the psychological response to stress, as excitement rather than nervousness, because that was the main problem, that I would get too nervous, I would shake, I couldn't play. The things I used to do automatically on autopilot, I wasn't doing anymore. I was thinking too much, all because I was too nervous. So this first lesson is reframing the nervousness that you get from your body as excitement. And a cool thing about this is that the body's reaction to both excitement and nervousness is the same. But mentally, we have the choice to interpret it as excitement, if that makes sense. So pretty much this simple shift helped me channel the energy, that nervous energy, into my my 1v9 fuel, and it worked every time. And I'll leave some resources below if anyone wants to dig more on that. I'm not gonna go into details here, but the main lesson is reframing your nervousness as excitement and using that energy to help you perform. Number 2 is how you think about yourself influences how you perform. Now that is very obvious, but a good example of this is if you believe that you're the worst player on the field or in the lobby, you will play like it. And the inverse is true, right? If you believe and truly believe that you're the best player there, that you're a good player, that you can do all these things, you will play like you can do all those things. Now the challenge is actually believing it, right? And that's when the book goes into the details, into many different techniques and stuff like that I won't be going into too much detail on, and I'll leave some resources on the description box below for anyone wanting to read further. But basically, confidence stems from how you think before, during, and after the game. And whatever your thoughts you have, whatever identity you think about yourself, creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, whether negative or positive. And this mindset shift was a game changer for me. And I highly encourage everyone to study this concept further. And it not only will help you play better, if that's your goal, it will also just help you in life on pretty much anything you do. So if there's one thing you'll take away from the video, it should be this. So those are the 2 things that I really focused on this split and that I did really well in applying, and it helped me a lot. It's one of the reasons why, probably the biggest reason why I got GM. It's not that my gameplay got better per se, like obviously it got better, so, but it wasn't by that much, right? It was a lot of my losses and my loss streaks hinges on the fact that my confidence was destroyed, my mental was destroyed, the thoughts and statements that I would make to myself was negative. All it took was doing some research, right, and studying some stuff to find solutions to this, and this book that I read was very, very transformative. So for the next section, I will be talking about the things that I didn't do too well and things that I can improve. So there's a lot of things that I didn't do too well this split, obviously, and one of them is reviewing my games. I slacked off so much this split. It's actually unacceptable. Last split I made a really big deal about reviewing my games, and I reviewed pretty much every single one. But this split, I don't know what happened. I just like skipped so much, and when I skipped one game of review, I just skipped like the next 20. And whether it was out of laziness or just avoiding painful losses, it still cost me a lot of valuable learning opportunities, right? So moving forward, I'll be reviewing every game without exception in great detail and with a growth mindset before jumping into another rank session. So this means I'm not allowed to play another game if I didn't review my last game, right? So my routine's gonna be, let's say I play 5 games today, I'm gonna review those 5 games either that night or the morning of the next day before I play my next set of games. And I can't play my next set of games until I review my previous set of games. Number 2 is overplaying. Toward the end of the split, I overplayed so much that it led to wrist and forearm pain. Now, years of playing games had already caused me mild wrist pain, but my desperation to climb and just spamming games worsened it to the point where I experienced new pain in my forearms, which I've never experienced before, right? And that was a wake-up call to prioritize my health, and that's when I stopped playing for the rest of the split to take a break and reflect. So, lesson here, take breaks, don't spam games, prioritize your well-being, and yeah. Number 3 is sticking to our routine. I need to stick to more structured routines, like playing in blocks of 3 with breaks in between, following my sleep schedule, which I'll talk more later. Just a lot of stuff that works for me and I just stopped doing. And additionally, I want to spend more time researching like coaching materials and learning specific matchups, etc. whenever I feel stuck about something. And it's just something that I didn't really do this split, so I want to make that a routine as well. And yeah, just following my routines and being more disciplined about it. The sleep was such a big reason why on some days I would play so well while others I wouldn't. It's gotten a lot better now the past couple weeks, but for the start of the split to the middle of the split, it was very bad. There were days where I would just sleep for like 10 hours or like 4 hours, and even when I was getting enough sleep, it wasn't good sleep. Now, obviously we all know sleep is important, but not everyone realizes just how critical it is. So I'm putting an even bigger focus on improving my sleep routine and being disciplined about it so I can perform in all my games and just have more energy throughout the day to do other stuff, like other life stuff like chores, whatever I have to do. Now, for number 5, it's gonna be exercise. And exercise was more of a byproduct for getting better sleep. That was the thing. The exercise was something I did to help my sleep, and I realized that it also helps me stay clear-headed while playing. I won't dive into the research here again, but I'll leave links in the description for anyone interested in learning more. Takeaway here is to just get good regular exercise and stretching as well for flexibility and to prevent any more wrist and forearm pain in the future. I don't want to be doing stretches for when I have pain. I want to just avoid it altogether, so preventing it in the first place. Lastly, it's gonna be my diet. Now, I'm not suggesting any specific diet, but simply just eating properly. There have been many instances where I neglected meals or ate poorly, which led to me feeling fatigued a lot of times, which I shouldn't be. Like, eating food should be energizing, right? So moving forward, I'll focus on eating good meals at the right times to stay energized and perform better. Overall, my plans to reach Challenger next season is to keep doing the things I did well last split and to work on the things that I didn't do so well, along with the other rules that I have for myself, of course, such as always recording my games, reviewing, following routines, etc. By fixing my weaknesses and building on my strengths, I'm very confident the path to Challenger will be smoother next season, and there's absolutely no doubts in my mind that I can do it. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.